When China Turned Red, a documentary of the Chinese Communist Revolution by Haoxuan Shen and Aarush Parameshwaran. Chapter 1: Framing the Revolution. After the fall of dynasties, the Kuomintang, otherwise known as the KMT, led by Chiang Kai-shek, quickly and violently seized control from the warlords that ruled China at the time and consolidated full power over China. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, led by Mao Zedong, did not align with their views and fought against the KMT in the Chinese Communist Revolution, successfully pushing the KMT to Taiwan and immediately asserting dominance over China, with the civil war between the two sides ending in 1949. This revolutionary event sparked many mixed reactions from countries and citizens alike, fundamentally reforming the core of China and how it thought, worked, and functioned. Chapter 2: The Last Dynasty. For thousands of years before the Republic of China, many different dynasties ruled China. In total, 13 dynasties rose and fell, the last being the Qing dynasty. As the fifth largest empire in world history, the Qing governed China with an iron fist. Unfortunately, during the 1800s, China faced attacks from multiple nations. According to Chao Feng, during the 1800s, Qing China faced attacks from Britain, France, Russia, Germany, and Japan, as this was known as the Opium Wars, which lasted from 1839 to 1860. This ended with Hong Kong ceding to Britain and the humiliating defeat of the Chinese army. This defeat tore apart China. It severely weakened the empire, and people started to go against the Mandate of Heaven. The Mandate of Heaven is a traditional Chinese political philosophy that grants a ruler, the Son of Heaven, the divine right to rule. After the end of the dynasties, as the Emperor Puyi abdicated, the Republic of China took over as leaders, starting a new era in China. On the 12th of March 1912, the Republic of China was officially formed in Nanjing. Sun Yat-sen became the president, but he soon turned power over to Yuan Shikai. Through the years, Yuan abolished the national and provincial assemblies, declaring himself as the emperor of the vast nation of China in 1915. He turned the system into an absolute monarchy. Facing rebellion, he soon abdicated in March 1916 and died in June from natural causes. China soon fell back into a warlord-controlled country, with many different people claiming power. Eventually, Sun Yat-sen took back power and formed an alliance with the CCP. After his death, Chiang Kai-shek took power and eventually fought and successfully took control of China, finally uniting them back as the Republic of China. Chapter 3: The Beginning of the End. The revolution started with the KMT brutally attacking the CCP on the 12th of April in 1927, commonly referred to as the Shanghai Massacre. Many different battles continued to happen in the 10-year struggle known as the 10-Year Civil War. This ended with the Xi'an Incident, when Chiang Kai-shek was forced to form and make the Second United Front. The KMT and CCP formed this alliance to go against the Japanese in World War II. Chapter 4: Birth of a New China. During the Second United Front in World War II, multiple battles took place and tensions were still high. An extreme point, the Rape of Nanjing, was a brutal attack on China. The Japanese raped, murdered, and executed tens of thousands of people. Children and elderly were not spared, and all were targeted. In fact, there's no official death count, but estimates report from 200,000 to 300,000 people could have died. This greatly decreased nationalist morale and benefited the CCP, as the KMT's main base was in Nanjing. The start of the second half of the revolution is highly debated. The earliest date for when the Second Civil War started would be the end of the Second United Front, when nationalist forces ambushed, attacked, and destroyed the New Fourth Army in January 1941. The New Fourth Army was primarily composed of CCP soldiers and some KMT soldiers to help fend off against the Japanese in the northeastern region of China. When the KMT started attacking, the SUF fell apart, which is the Second United Front. They both started attacking each other again, and it was more intense this time. It was so serious that the Soviets and the Americans both tried to intervene to stop a deadly and disastrous civil war. While they were still fighting the Japanese, they were also fighting an inside battle, tearing China in half and letting Japanese claim many parts of northeastern China, which the new Fourth Army was supposed to guard. The battle between Japan and China strongly favored the CCP, as their guerrilla tactics worked well in the war. In addition, they also helped people claim back their land after the war. After the war ended, the CCP had gotten immense power and wealth. Truce against the Japanese ended in 1946 when absolute war broke between the KMT and the CCP on the 26th. China then entered a 3-year-long civil war. The CCP were supported by the Soviets and gained a plethora of land and power. On the other hand, the states supported the KMT, giving them troops and support. Many different battles and campaigns were made after this, all extremely bloody. It officially ended on October 1st of 1949, when Mao proclaimed the People's Republic of China, signaling the victory of the CCP. Mao said at 3 p.m. Beijing time in Tiananmen Square, in front of hundreds of thousands of people watching him talk, he said, "The People's Republic of China and the Central People's Government are established today." Cheers could be heard across the country as a new chapter of Chinese history was being written. Chapter 5: The Legacy. The Chinese Communist Revolution had several immediate effects. The Communists established the People's Republic of China, forcing the nationalist government to retreat to Taiwan. In addition, land reforms were quickly introduced, redistributing property from landlords to peasants, and industries were reorganized under state control with Soviet assistance, rapidly reshaping China's political and economic landscape. As a result of this war and revolution, an estimated 9.5 to 14 million were killed. Chapter 6: Echoes of the Revolution. As a result of this war, there are still many important long-term effects to this day. Chen Cheng states it well in his telegram to the US in 1949. With the development of adverse circumstances on the mainland, Taiwan has become increasingly significant in its strategic and political importance. Strategically, it is more easily defendable than any other part of China and can serve as a base for fighting back and regaining the country. Politically, clinging to democratic ideals, it can be made to demonstrate to the freedom-loving people of China a vivid contrast to the totalitarian tyranny on the mainland, defeating the view of the invincibility of communism and kindling in the hearts of the Chinese people a hope and confidence for eventual nationalist recovery. Judging from the limited resources and manpower of this island as compared with the large CCP-dominated area, we know that our struggle will be a singularly difficult task and will have to demand long, sustained, painstaking efforts. This perfectly sums up the circumstances. He explains how Taiwan is strategic, defendable, and is a perfect operating base to fight back against Taiwan. It also shows his political views. He showcases how Taiwan can demonstrate to the people of China what real freedom looks like. He acknowledges that Taiwan is limited in resources and power, but he knows that they will fight for glory. It encompasses the future and what tensions are like between the two countries, the seas they border, and the Taiwan Strait. In conclusion, the Chinese Communist Revolution rapidly reshaped China's political and social order by consolidating communist rule, displacing the nationalists to Taiwan, and initiating sweeping reforms in land and industry. These immediate changes not only secured the new government's authority, but also set the stage for decades of transformation, laying the foundation for China's path toward becoming a major global power.